Oh, I love this watch too. A competitive option. This is the Wenger Telegraph 3H 01.0541.118. I don't name them. Yeah, so between this watch, the Wenger, this particular model, and the Seiko I will review right now, which one would I get? Oh, dude, that is a really hard question. They are both fantastic Hall of Fame watches for me personally. And yeah, I'm wearing a stainless steel band with this one. See, I do it, but I usually peel them off. I will admit it, but I'm kind of going back to stainless steel bands, really. To be honest with you, I kind of went to silicone, NATO bands, and now I'm kind of like, in the summer, the stainless steel band it breathes really good. It's really easy to take on and off. It's super durable. It just adds some weight. And a lot of people think a lot of class to a watch like this Wenger. Oh my gosh, that's a great looking watch. Sorry, I gotta press on with the subject at hand. The SNE 391 Papa one on a replacement band, and that's why I introed that way. Yeah, I do take bands off frequently. No apologies, because it's just what I like. This is wearing a Barton silicone band I bought on Amazon, and the color of it is orange. That's right, orange, like roaring orange. Kind of a cool color. And once I put it on, it's just like, oh my gosh, that looks so good against the blue face of the SNE 391. I was like, I don't want to remove it. Don't want to remove it. And technically, you could call this WRV and another, desk diver watch review. Meaning that because the SNE 391 is only, and I'll put that in air quotes, only rated to 100 meters, a lot of guys would say, well, that's not a real dive watch. I wouldn't dive with it. Well, here's the deal, dudes. I have dove with it. I'm talking scuba diving. I've taken it to 40 feet and it did great. No screw down crown. Supposedly only rated to 100 meters. Totally diveable. Yep. I think a lot of watch companies are extremely conservative in what they say you can do with a watch. Like, I didn't look it up, but maybe Seiko on their 100-meter water-resistant rated watches, they'll go, well, you can go, swimming with it. You can go showering, taking a bath, washing your car, but don't scuba dive with it, I think is what they'd say. Well, I've done it, and it's fine. Even under dynamic pressure. And by the way, that's another myth. Dynamic pressure, you'd have to be moving your arm so fast for it to make a difference. It's just not even feasible underwater. So dynamic static pressure doesn't make a difference. So not technically an ISO rated dive watch, but for what you would do with it, for what I've done with it, perfect. But we're talking first cool here. Let's back it up a little bit and talk about second cool. How do you like the looks of it? Well, for me, I love it. The blue look, the markings on the watch, the triangular dive style markings, the day and date. I just love this watch. Yeah, just like I said, it's going to be a battle between I say Wenger, the German pronunciation, but Wenger, Telegraph. Dudes, I just love blue. Now, not every watch that I wear is blue, but it's a way to swap things out. For instance, this was my EDC watch today. It's an AV8 Flyboy. That's not blue. That's a black quartz watch. Very cool. That was a limited edition as well. Super sick Flyboy. Look at the case back on that sucker. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Oh, watches make me happy. Knives make me happy. How about you? Look at the legibility of this. Not to mention the perfect color of blue. It's not too dark, not too light. It's really perfect. But the hands are long. They're not short and stubby hands like we'll see that, by the way, on some citizen divers. Actually, quite a bit of citizen divers. And Seiko as well. The short stubby hands. I always have said more elongated hands is my preference, but not always. A good example of not always is this watch right here. Previously reviewed, posting separately, another competitive option. This is an automatic watch. This is the the SRPA 05 Kilo 1. So that has and I'm bringing this to show a point. See how that has a short hours hand? Monster-like hours hand. I dig that one. That's cool. But this is super legible. Perfect minutes, graduations around there. Red, seconds hand. Let's look at the registration on it. Super silent in operation, by the way. Pretty good. Pretty clean, dude. Especially for the price of this watch. I mean, it is affordable. The SNE 391. Now, you may have noticed already, we'll talk about it now. It is solar. Oh, awesome. This hang tag it comes with, where'd it go? It said, no battery change required. Well, not quite. What you'll do is probably get 9 to 10 years out of your battery, and then you'll have to replace it. And you know your battery's getting low in these Seikos and Citizens. Citizens having the Eco Drive movement, it's the same. If your seconds hand jumps like 2 seconds, you know that the charge is getting low. But if you keep it charged up and you maintain it well, I think you'll get 10 years out of your battery. Here's the catalog number again. Link below. I bought this one at Amazon. Hopefully it's still there. They come and go. If it's gone, might have to go elsewhere. SNE 391, Papa 1. This one has a Hardlex crystal, so a step up from mineral. The Hardlex, according to my understanding, this one does have my first generation of crystal protector on it with some scuba dive wear on it, as does the case. The case will show scuba dive wear as well. That's a pretty good crystal protector. You can't really see it that much, and I'm leaving it on until it just, you know, wears out, and then I'll put that armor suit material on it and change it out. I'll put in I'm putting in most of my WRVs a link that is a card to that video, so you can see how to put a crystal protector on your watch. And that way it doesn't really matter if you have a sapphire crystal or not. If you put that on there, you're good to go. Notice this, speaking of good to go, day and date. Just like the Seiko 5 Sports, day and date. Not all watches have that, and I love it when they do. Is it a hassle to keep track of it and keep it updated? Yeah, I've always said that. I mean, analog watches are just more work. I don't care what they are. If it's a, you know, a solar watch, especially an auto winding watch like this one in the background, they're more work to keep up with. Like daylight savings time, you're always changing it. It's much easier to do a G-Shock, Master of G Series, smartwatch, but that's not why we wear them. You know, we don't really care. I don't care. It's just kind of fun dinking around with your watch. You will notice on this one, the SNE 391, it has no rotating bezel. Psych! Yep, it doesn't rotate at all. It's just there for looks. Is that a deal killer for you? Not for me, not for the price point and everything else I get with a watch. Not a deal killer. I mean, I dive with a Sunto DX4 scuba diving, so I'm not even using this. It's just for tracking the time. But this Wenger Telegraph doesn't have a bezel at all, right? Not so much. So I don't really care. Look at the size of this watch. It's going to be, if I remember, 44 by 11. It's just really perfectly sized. I've kind of drifted away from really small analog watches. I like the bigger ones. I don't measure the crown. So 44 millimeters. Real scientific measuring here. By 11. I always round it. That's perfect. So it has a nice big face. Let's bring that flyboy in here just by way of representation. This also has a nice big face to it. Ideal. And I really like it when a watch aesthetic pushes the watch face out and has a real thin bezel on it. So this bezel ring doesn't rotate, and it's also very thin. What would have annoyed me on the 391 if this did not rotate, but it was thick and bulky, and then they shrunk the watch face, I would have returned it, or I wouldn't have ordered it at all. And the blue color just is insane. You want to take a look at the case. 316L polished stainless steel case, showing some wear from dive operations, scratching. Good salt resistance, better than some of the Casio stainless steel cases which I've experienced pitting on. I think that's a double O-ring sealed crown. Again, no water ingress, no condensation noted either in my dive operations. Screw-in case back, but nothing special back here. It's not going to be an exhibition case back. Not going to be high polish. It's not going to have a picture of a pilot with his flying cap on. I mean, this is a lot of value here. And these watches, by the way, are about the same price. The Flyboy, and I'm just bringing this in because it's my EDC watch. The Flyboy and this one, you can see the price right there, about 140 bucks. Freaking 3 ounces. That weighs nothing. But I wouldn't expect all those features in this dive style of watch at that price level with a Seiko solar powered movement in there. Showing 10 bar water resistance rating. See some scum and dirt and salt packed in there. I really love these Barton bands. Oh my gosh, do I love them. Silicone orange. They have built-in spring bars, so you don't need a tool. You just pop it out like that. So if you want to swap your bands out, it'd be easy enough to put your stainless steel band on one day and then put your NATO strap or your Barton band on the other day. And then it does come with a stainless steel bracelet. Here it comes. It's the same one we saw on the Seiko 5 Sports, like this one, which is wearing a nylon strap, which I absolutely love. This is a really high quality nylon strap. 22 millimeter lugs on this watch and on that watch. So that's a Seiko standard for this style of watch. But this is just great. It's not a fuzzy nylon. It's that really high quality dense weave. Here's a stainless steel bracelet though on the SNE 391. Same one we saw on the Seiko 5 Sports. Brushed stainless steel, 3 links across, push button, clasp, polishing. It's just a really nice stainless steel bracelet. Some arrows there showing the direction the adjustment pins will move out as you remove links. Just follow the instructions there. You can see how that's done. There's little tiny retention rings in there. Don't lose those. Notice it's polished on the side. The stainless steel bracelet, same as we saw in the Seiko 5 Sports. Good looking stainless steel bracelet. And here's the spring bar protectors right here on the top. I just have them in a storage bag so I can remember them. I'm probably going to put this back on eventually, but it adds a lot of weight. I mean, when this comes on, you get it. You're going to be looking at about 6.5 ounces with the stainless steel bracelet on. Is that a big deal? I don't think so. Not for most guys. One thing I like about this Wenger is it has a very small links to it. So it's just kind of a more pliable stainless steel bracelet. A little bit bigger links in this one. And I'm sadly going to have to take this watch off. Now, this Wenger Terragraph, a competitive option, actually has a double clasp mechanism on it, which is kind of a dive feature, right? So to go over a wetsuit or a big hand, see this? This is the Wenger band. I think it has folded links in the middle though. Yeah, it does. See this? So those are folded links and these are solid links on the Seiko. So a lot of guys will look at that and go, well, this is a higher quality strap. Me, I don't really mind the folded links because I find that they create a lighter stainless steel bracelet better than this. This is heavy because it's more solid. Another look at this one. And let's compare these two side by side and we'll see the same type of look in that they're large faces, easy to read, nice markings, although we have Arabic numerals in the T3H. God, they're just both so awesome. And look at the blue on this Wenger. It's so deep, the face they used. More legible date here than on the Wenger. This right here, it's small and it's only date, not day. No fake bezel on this one. They're both awesome watches. I mean, really, I couldn't decide between the two. This one has a more impressive case back on it, though. And actually, I'm going to count this as my review of this one, actually, since I'm talking about it already. It's going to be a 2-for-1 and 2 different brands. The one we're looking at, by the way, is 01.0541.118 with the Wenger Swiss Army logo on the back. Oh my gosh, that's cool. Same water resistance, 100 meters. And by the way, this one has a sapphire crystal on it. So this does not wear any of my coatings on it, like the armor suit material. Sapphire crystal at this price point, that's sick. And I think it's about the same price, about $140. Brushed stainless steel case on the side. 3 links across, folded links. And then this double clasp to go over either a large hand or a wetsuit. I can't remember if I dove this one. I don't think I did. Not this particular Wenger. I did some other ones, and they all passed very well. There was one Wenger that had like some condensation in it as the watch got cold, but it wasn't like water intrusion. Look at the markings on this one. Minutes markings are just perfect. Then you have the very tiny graduations, which aren't really useful. Kind of a 3-dimensional look on the Wenger face. Swiss Army branding at the 12 o'clock position. Quiet in operation. Good registration on the seconds hand. Good legibility. And then we'll look at lume on both of them. I really wasn't, by the way, intending to review this now, but heck, why not? That way it's just one less WRV I have to get out. 2 for 1. I'll tell you right now, both these watches are just awesome. I couldn't really choose between one or the other. I really love the Wenger brand. It's the Victorinox and the Wenger watches. You get so much watch for your money. Same with the Seiko too. I mean, these value price Seikos are just outstanding. They really are. My Olight, dude, how thrashed that thing is. I have like so many of these S20s, and they've since replaced it with other models, but great watches. I'm sorry, great lights. There we go. Get all the lights off in the missile silo. And there's like an auto light over there, that Mr. Beams, that will turn off here in a second. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so I'm definitely going to give the award to the SNE 391 for lume, which is, again, going to the dive watch aesthetic. So high legibility, even though this is, again, not officially a dive watch, it has all the trimmings of a dive watch as far as the marker set, obviously the lume. You'll notice that there's no lume on the seconds hand, though, on either of these watches. The one on the left, the Wenger Telegraph, that's really a field watch that has kind of morphed over to a dive look, the way I think of it. And the lume on the individual markers is, as you can tell, it's not great. But that's kind of a field watch thing too. A lot of field watches are that way. So lume on the Seiko wins. And that's not surprising to me, because the Seiko lume, oh my gosh, every time I bring it to table, that and Citizen and Seiko lume for analog watches are just phenomenal. Both of them are. Yeah, so tie between these two watches, really. And again, sorry I don't have this on the stainless steel bracelet, but I think I've done a good job of representing both of them. They're both about the same price. The advantages of this one are the lume. I love the looks. I like the very thin bezel. I love the coloration. It's day and date, and it's solar powered. Solar powered, and great handset. The advantage on this one is you have that kind of that pearlescent blue face, which is rare at this price point in the Wenger lineup. Great handset, reflective Arabic markings, and just an overall great hybrid is what it is between a field watch and a dive watch. I mean, they're both going to be 5 out of 5. The Wenger 010541118 and the Seiko SNE 391 Papa one, both on 22mm lugs and about the same size. Highly recommended. That's my review.